And I want to go and talk about the limited voter registration exercise that began this week. And the NDC is making some accusations of the EC that they are deliberately taking faulty machines to strongholds, which is creating problems for them. Let's just quickly read the story from CitiNewsroom.com to contextualize it, and then we can discuss that. Now, limited voter registration exercise, NDC alleges EC deliberately took faulty machines to strongholds. Now, the story on CitiNewsroom.com says here, the opposition National Democratic Congress has accused the Electoral Commission of deliberately making the voter registration process difficult at its strongholds. Now, the ongoing limited voter registration is targeted to register at least 1.35 million people who have turned 18 since the last registration exercise in 2020. The exercise, which commenced on Tuesday, September 12th, is expected to end on October 2nd. 2023. At a media briefing on the exercise on Tuesday evening, the NDC National Chairman Johnson Asidio Nketia alleged that the EC had deliberately taken faulty machines to some of its district offices in areas it deems as NDC strongholds to frustrate illegible voters. And I quote, "There is not more than 2 centers where these breakdowns are happening, which are in the strongholds of the MPP. All the rest are in the stronghold of the NDC. It is like His Excellency when he was complaining about politicking within the Bar Association, which tends to campaign at the Bar Conference," he said. The NDC also criticized President Akufo-Addo for wading into the conversation about alleged judicial bias. So there's different things that are happening here. Let me just start with you, Victor, on this one. Machines break down in different places. Why are you complaining that it's a deliberate attempt to disenfranchise voter registration within the NDC stronghold?
Yes, thank you. Maybe the situation on the ground. First of all, let me say that what is giving rise to some of the suspicion and mistrust between the NDC and the EC. And the reason why maybe the judiciary had even been brought in is that an application had been filed to stop the EC from, because the EC decided that it's going to be only the district offices that the registration will be done. But if you go to Article 45, 5 and the rest, it talks about expansion, giving access. Right. Now, maybe because the courts are on vacation, when the application was sent, they said until the Chief Justice comes, the date could not be given. Now, the Chief Justice came also, and the date has been sent to the beginning of the term, the judicial year. Now, this gives suspicion that, look, a matter that is sensitive like this, where the Constitution even allows a single judge to sit on the matter, because there have been a lot of cases when the situation demanded there were only single judge who could sit on. That has been given. So it raises eyebrows that what exactly is happening. Is it that the judiciary really wants that the matter become moot? By that time, the EC will have finished with the registration. That is one. So it gives some cause of suspicion that I think that it is a deliberate plan to make sure this goes. And I think that, yes, by law, when courts are on vacation, sometimes it's difficult to have a date. And also, once the Chief Justice is not there, the senior-most judge is the one who acts. So why is it that the senior-most judge cannot act? Those are issues that which are legitimate. People want to know why it's gone. For me, as a lawyer, I may understand that because it is vacation, maybe the justices are not there.
But there are precedents, though, that have been set before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where there's a holiday, but they will convene special convening. To sit on
if you
cases.
have a fiat, you should have a fiat from the Chief Justice.
Okay.
And I think that it's even been said now when they looked at I think with the Bernard Bonner case that went, it's been corrected, where the court has even said, even weekends, the court can sit. Yes, whilst you've been given that fiat. Secondly, I think that with the start of the registration, the observation is that the reports that the party is getting is that the malfunctioning of the equipment, most of them are in our strongholds.
Is that not just coincidence?
No, I'm coming. It's an open secret that, look, when you go to Ashanti, Eastern, they are the stronghold of the ruling government. You come to Volta region is the hotbed for the opposition party. So when you start getting reports from places that the election has been won, is your stronghold, that this is malfunctioning of equipment, then the people in charge, the EC officers, also, you put some pressure on them that, look, get online, get offline, and register people. They tell you, until I get instruction from region or national, I won't be able to do it. It may be their own doing, just to sabotage the system, which every time they will tell you is an order from above. How to validate that order, nobody knows. I think that this is what is giving the cause and rise to the NDC to say that most equipment are not functioning well. It goes off. And the truth of the matter is also we have the internet connectivity in all of our districts that are remote. When you go to Afram Plains, there are so many issues in Afram Plains, which we know that in the eastern region, Afram Plains is the stronghold for the opposition party. So it might be, as you said, coincidence that the machines. But why is it that we are not having those challenges in the stronghold of the ruling? I think this is the trust of what yesterday. And you see, another issue that may also come up is that every party may have its own strategy. But really, for the ruling government, we were not seeing any activity on the ground that they are trying to bring people or get their people registered. It was a very, maybe they have their own strategy, as they said, that they will win the election by strategy, that we will be dumbfounded. Are you getting? So those are the things that we are jealously guided. And you see, NDC has taken this limited registration issue very seriously. Despite the fact that the injunction was pending, and EC, by their own conduct and their own thing, says that the moment we are served with an injunction, we will not do anything until the matter is determined. This happened during the NDC's election. So by this same yardstick, you have been served. Are you going ahead? And they are going ahead. All these circumstances, situations, you know, deepens that mistrust between the two institutions. And I think that it does not augur well for this nation. It does not augur well for us. And that's why I have always, and I'm always grateful to Afarijan when he gave the advice that we should all look at it and make sure that IPAC is revived. The purpose for which the IPAC was instituted, we look at it and let's dialogue. Yes, the fact that I always said, I know Alajete, when he used to be the speaker, may he so rest. He said that you cannot say, I won't be partial, I won't be impartial, but all that I need to do, yes, I'm from this talk, so you can say I won't be partial, but all that I need to do is to be fair and objective.
Yeah.
To be fair and objective. And I think that that should be the yardstick going forward.
All right.
Well, to begin with, like I said, no party should be dependent on the EC.
Yeah.
Now, I think day one makes it very premature to make judgment. Some of the key things yesterday was heavy rains across the country. As we speak, yesterday I was in Brekum, Tichimand and Brekum. Heavy rains.
You guys have been traveling,
you know, and network systems on a regular day.
Yeah,
when it rains, it's slow.
Yeah.
As I was getting feedback from Accra, it was raining here too, and network was a bit slow. I think at my constituency we had up to almost 80 people registered on day one, and looking at the numbers that we expect, based on the population census, I think and hope that we can get up to the 200s on a daily basis, and that will be very appropriate. Now, I think that the court will make a decision based on even the merit of what the NDC is bringing, and I think that as it stands now, there isn't enough evidence to even prove that the projection they have in terms of the number of 18-year-olds that will be registered, is being not met because of, this quote-unquote strategic impairment that, is happening based on the equipment's malfunction that they're talking about. So I think that what I would love and encourage the opposition party to do is to look at the South Tongue and say that, okay, we're expecting 3,000 18-year-olds to register. We've only done 500. When you have that, and I can bet you my last coin that if 2nd October is here and there's damning evidence that more 18-year-olds have not been registered, EC, by virtue of that evidence, will have to do an extension of the deadline, because we are not in a business of disenfranchising anybody, because it will go against you, it will go against me. So I think that 21 days is quite a number of days.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we get to the first week in October, it will be so clear to those opposition parties whether they've marshaled enough forces to have qualified 18-year-olds at the place to register. And if they can prove to all Ghanaians that the numbers they were expecting are not, tallying, I'm sure the EC, being fair-minded, will do the extension, or at that point in time, legally, some machinations can be done to make sure that another 1 week
granted.
is added of some sort. So I would plead with them.
So they shouldn't worry. It's too early.
No, worry they should. We are also concerned. I mean, if I look at a stronghold and I'm not meeting my estimations or projections, I would be worried. They should be worried. But then, in all of this, your inefficiencies should not be put on the EC.
Okay.
As I sit here, many of the aspiring assembly men and women have a fair idea of how many youth they have within their electoral area.
Okay.
And by their projections, somebody says I have 2,000, somebody says I have 1,000. If you know this to the T and you've done your homework well, if 2nd October is here and half of those numbers have not been registered because of delays in the equipment and whatnot, you have a case.
The distance.
You have a case. And distance, agreeable.
Yeah.
And then let me actually add one key thing. What is important is that we're looking at 1-point-something million people.
Yeah, about 1.4.
Over 21 days. I mean, let's be realistic. And let's also give the EC the benefit of the doubt, because looking at technological advancement and looking at the excitement some people even have to go to a center.
Yeah.
I mean, some
So,
people
turnout was quite high in some places,
people are
yeah.
excited to do this. I think that distance should not necessarily be an issue. People travel far for even frivolous reasons.
Yeah, but some of the complaints about the distance is saying, I was thinking about it yesterday. There are some places where people travel like a half day just traveling to get to the district center. You know, because where they live, they have to get a boat, then before they get a car.
But like I said,
then sometimes maybe from where they are, a car moves once a week. You know, those kind of situations.
Well, I mean, these are the outliers. And in management, to be very fair with you, you make decisions not necessarily just because of your outliers.
Yeah.
You look at the quantum, what is in the interest of the country in terms of cost and expenditure. And at any point in time,
which is fair. I mean,
at any point in time when you're making decisions, and let me tell you that there'll be mobile unit as and when needed. And I think EC has made that very clear to us. Okay. So if it so happens,
can then go to those places.
And I know that there are very, very, very remote places where there's enough evidence that if they go there, they might get about maybe 50 people. I'm sure if you can make a case, if you can make a case, and bear in mind, there are some places in the Volta region where students cannot even get to school because when it rains, there's a bigger bank, you know, or river, you know. So when these things are the norm on a regular day, we cannot then just ascribe